Hi, my name is Cynthia Malone, and this is my Human Performance Technology presentation for the School of Education at Liberty University. I'd like to present to you my ideals of educational technology in the traditional classroom learning environment. Learning can take place anywhere. For example, learning environments can be defined as any formal educational setting, such as, but not limited to, K through 12, higher education, vocational education, corporate training, or military training. This presentation will discuss the use of educational technology as interventions for improving the performance for both students and teachers. So, what is Human Performance Technology, or HPT? What is this all about? O'Driscoll defines HPT as a systemic approach to analyzing performance problems that act as mechanisms to implement high-performance work systems. These work systems are what Rosenberg calls interventions and are categorized into 4 major areas. These major areas are human resource development, organization development, human resource management, and environmental engineering. Human resource development is where interventions are concerned with improving the development of individuals. Organization development is where interventions are concerned with improving the performance of groups or teams. Human resource management is where interventions are concerned with managing and coaching the performance of individuals and groups, as well as with recruitment and staffing. And environmental engineering is where interventions are concerned with providing tools and facilities that support improved performance. So what is HPT? What is HPT all about? Well, essentially, HPT is all about improving individual competence and skill. There are different perspectives about this field of study. One perspective focuses on improving the performance of human capacity, while other perspectives focus on improving organizational or system capacity in terms of value add. However, since both of these perspectives are equally important, I've come to the conclusion that the purpose of HPT is to improve the performance of systems and human capacity, because as one improves, the other is affected positively by that improvement. Gilbert's major contribution to this field focused on performance rather than instruction or training. But essentially, this assumption can only be made as a result of the initial phase of HPT, which is Harless's theory of front-end analysis, which we will discuss briefly in this presentation. It is my belief that when focusing on end results, HPT is not just for competence and skill, but can also be applied to improving knowledge acquisition and improving instructional strategies when appropriately integrated within lesson plans. So how does human performance technology, or HPT, work? Well, before we discuss how it works, let's look at the purpose of HPT. The purpose of HPT, or Human Performance Technology, is to improve performance outcomes by solving the sources of performance problems. It is a systematic approach to identifying the sources of problems by conducting Harless's theory of front-end analysis, which is the expanded version of performance analysis. Harless's theory believes That front-end analysis involves asking all the SMART questions first to identify the symptoms or causes of performance problems before doing anything. Accurately identifying the symptoms of a problem is paramount when the desire is to improve. Kang discusses how the International Society of Performance Improvement, ISPI, HPT model is one of the most frequently used models in the field. It is based on the analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation, or ADDIE model, which is a process used in the instructional design field. The difference between the HPT model and the ADDIE model is the expansion of the analysis phase. In HPT, performance analysis consists of several elements to include organizational analysis, environmental analysis, gap analysis, and cause analysis. Organizational analysis is an assessment of external elements that can influence an organization's performance. It's an evaluation of the organization's potential and resource base, as well as its strengths and weaknesses. Environmental analysis is an assessment of the inner workings of an organization. What is the organizational processes like? Is it efficient and effective? Does it need improvement? Gap analysis. Well, gap analysis involves identifying where the organization desires to be and outlining where the organization currently stands. And finally, a cause analysis. A cause analysis involves identifying the source of the problem. To determine the performance gap, the performance analysis must comprise of defining the desired performance and the actual performance. This is accomplished by examining organizational factors and environmental factors. Once the problem is identified, an appropriate intervention can be implemented, followed by an evaluation which measures improvement. Various types of educational technologies are the suggested interventions discussed in this presentation. I will discuss some of the advantages and disadvantages of its use in the traditional classroom. Additionally, I will discuss the use of assistive technology for special needs students as an intervention for knowledge acquisition in the classroom. And finally, I will discuss how the high cost of technology causes a digital divide between those who have the resources to purchase these educational technologies and those who don't. This causes a greater disparity in achievement between the lower socioeconomic class and the upper socioeconomic class. So what is educational technology? Reiser and Dempsey defines educational technology as encompassing the analysis of learning and performance problems, and the design, development, implementation, evaluation, and management of instructional and non-instructional processes as resources intended to improve learning and performance in a variety of settings, particularly educational institutions and the workplace. Educational technology is not a new concept. Using teaching aids in the classroom has always been on the minds of educators in order to transfer knowledge to their students. However, as the quantity of students would increase, the efficiency of the teaching aid would decrease and would require technology to evolve. Technology innovations have evolved over the centuries from things such as slates, blackboards, overhead projectors, to film strip projectors, to PowerPoint presentations, but it was all for the purpose of transferring knowledge. One thing history has taught us is that these interventions have been used to close environmental gaps and reach beyond the bounds of a classroom. Educational technology today is moving into the age of Star Trek, where there will soon be androids used as teachers and gamification used as a supplement to instruction. This could not be more true as artificial intelligence, or AI, is incorporated into many of the gamification educational tools today. In fact, the use of this technology has helped to move instruction from a simple stimulus and response in behavior to a more constructivism approach in simulating environments. Educators are integrating technology in their lesson plans to assist with the reinforcement of learning concepts. For example, artificial intelligence is being used in schools as tutors and are especially common starting as early as elementary school. AI is a computer-generated machine that has the programming ability to think and learn. It is an emerging technology that is being adopted within the next 4 to 5 years and having a great impact on education. This technology assists teachers with grading and tutoring of students. Since educators are continually looking for ways to measure learning outcomes, AI is being used in all types of technology and is thought to increase learners' intelligence while at the same time deducing a learner's strengths and weaknesses. This much needed feedback permits teachers to know where a student needs additional support. This is especially important to determine if the integration of technology is improving the performance of knowledge acquisition for the learners in the areas of critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, and self-directed learning. Although artificial intelligence is big on the scene today, the teaching machine was actually introduced around the late 1950s. At that time, the teaching machine was pre-programmed to provide reinforcement to the learner only when they answered correctly. However, as we move later into the 21st century, technology continues to advance in education, utilizing gamification as a way to reinforce learning. A study was conducted on the use of gamification in the educational process. The theory was that gaming would be a stimulating teaching tool. The goal of the game was to teach students to look for alternate solutions in solving scenario-based conditions that simulate possible real-life problems. The outcome of the study disclosed that gamification is an efficient tool that can be used to increase student involvement in the educational process. Additionally, for this generation, supplementary entertaining elements such as those used in gamification are a teacher's best friend when it comes to improving the learning efficiency of their students. Assistive technology can be understood to mean any type of technology that can assist individuals in performing their tasks and duties as well as meeting their educational needs where they may otherwise be incapable. Erden says that assistive technology aids persons with special educational needs, These needs are not limited to just the classroom, but also assist in building self-confidence and being independent while achieving a high quality of life. That is why educational technology must include more than computers and the internet. And finally, Erden says that the use of assistive technology helps to facilitate the improved performance of the students by providing support, such as adapting content and activities of the curricula specific to their needs within a minimum restricted environment. Human performance technology works in lockstep with educational technology, as their aim are both to improve learning and performance in a variety of settings. For example, Erdem suggests that assistive technology, a type of educational technology, is a mechanism that can be used in the classroom to improve the performance of individuals with special educational needs. These technologies help build self-confidence and serve as key tools for enabling students to access education, actively and independently participate in the educational process, interact with their peers, and have control over their own learning experiences. Erdem suggests that assistive technologies such as voice recognition applications, mobile devices, symbol-based interaction, virtual reality, screen readers, physical space that allows wheelchair accessibility, and more are just a few examples of technology used to improve the performance of individuals with special needs, and helps to include a group of individuals in the traditional classroom environment that would otherwise be excluded. Educators have been traditionally trained to provide stand-up instruction in a classroom setting for many years. However, today, classrooms are changing due to the implementation of STEM curriculums. STEM, or sometimes referred to as STEAM, when the A is added to the acronym, stands for science, technology, engineering, math, and sometimes arts. The STEAM curriculum serves as an intervention to a growing technological society where our workforce needs more intellectual capital. However, the high cost of implementing technology in the schools, along with the proper training for teachers in the 21st century, is a challenge to the success of the STEM curriculums. We focus on technology because we love new gadgets that make our lives easier. But rarely do we think about the science behind the operation of the gadget. STEM is the science behind the technology. STEM is the engine that answers the question, how does this work? Many organizations are now investing in STEM in hopes to building a more intelligent and diverse workforce. Organizations are also sponsoring programs that recruit minority students to help close the achievement gap between African American and Latino groups and their white counterparts. STEM is a curriculum that is taught from a learner-centric approach. Its aim is to provide students with a real-world application by using a hands-on approach to learning. The idea is to allow students to become problem solvers. The significance of introducing these 5 disciplines in the classroom is to prepare students for the changing world of technology. However, with any new method, there are possible barriers. And in this case, Some barriers to the success of the STEM approach in our local areas are a lack of resources to the rural area schools, lack of capacity by teachers, lack of relevant curricula, and a lack of adequate facilities. Since technological innovations and school systems follow a co-evolutionary progression of constant change, Erstad et al. Discusses strategic models of schooling for teaching and learning in the digital age and ways of preparing teachers to innovate, adopt, and implement educational technology into their lessons. When teachers lack confidence in their ability to use technology, gaining buy-in to integrate technology into their lesson plans can be a challenge. Therefore, professional development is crucial in helping them to understand that the purpose of educational technology is to enhance instruction and not replace the instruction. In the new digital age, it is expected that pedagogical practices will evolve. Erstad discusses 4 models of innovative pedagogical practices that use technology. They are student collaboration model, student research model, product model, and outside collaboration model. In the student collaboration model, teachers advise students. Students collaborate with others in their class and search for information. And both teachers and students use email and productivity tools as part of their collaboration efforts. In the student research model, students use different tools to conduct research projects and solve them. The product model traces how teachers create learning environments with different technologies to stimulate students to create products and publish and present their results, and how teachers collaborate with their peers to design instructional materials. And in the outside collaboration models, teachers and students collaborate with outside actors. Many educators fear that technology will replace their jobs, which leads to a reluctance to the use of technology in their classrooms. Tondier et al. Discusses 5 challenges to technology integration in education, and they are: 1. Contextualization with sociocultural awareness. 2. Sustainability and scalability of professional development. 3. Empowering pedagogy through information and communication technology. 4. Technology discernment. And 5. Systemic and systematic teacher professional development. Now, challenge 1. Contextualization with sociocultural awareness states, the use of technology is advantageous for connectivity all around the world to share and create knowledge, collaborate, and store information. However, in some countries, as well as states within the United States, are those who lack access to the internet and technology. Unfortunately, this expands the digital divide between learners and contributes to their future achievement gaps. To mitigate this issue, TPD, in support of technology use in education, should be both sensitive to and enabling of differences in historic, social, cultural, economic, and political context. Challenge 2, Sustainability and Scalability of Professional Development states, Technology innovation is continually evolving and changing, and due to the cost of continuous upgrades, sustainability of its integration in the classrooms are a challenge. As equipment and software become outdated, teachers are not able to be properly equipped for the changing demands of pedagogy. This often leads to frustration and lack of motivation. Due to the large capacity of the teaching staff and the continuous updates of their training, professional development can be a challenge. Kerr et al. States a lack of content knowledge, lack of capacity by teachers, lack of relevant curricula, and lack of adequate facilities are additional barriers which causes inefficient pedagogy and ineffective technology integration. However, attitudes and beliefs may change towards the support of technology integration in the classroom once teachers are encouraged to share their ideas and construct knowledge regarding the importance of technology in education. Challenge 3. Empowering pedagogy through information and communication technology states, innovative pedagogical practices are encouraged and needed within the changing dynamics of today's education. Providing support to teachers by way of TPD and perhaps collaboration support training and communities of practice may be the foundation needed to recruit innovative teachers. As I've stated previously, as technology evolves, innovative pedagogies are expected to evolve, which may lead to new approaches in content delivery. Challenge 4, technology discernment states, the decision to integrate technology in student curriculum must be determined with much care. Tonder et al. Says, the power of discernment when applied to the choice of technology in the form of products, services, or processes involved in the TPD can ensure the real working needs of the TPD participants are met, and thus keep them engaged and motivated in a sustainable manner. The decision to integrate technology must be made based on instructional soundness, not just the sake of having technology. Challenge 5, systemic and systematic teacher professional development states. Tandura et al. Says again, professional development of teachers require a lifelong learning approach, beginning with pre-service teacher education programs and continuing throughout their professional lifespan. Utilizing the ADDIE methodology by incorporating practical exercise using in various technologies will build confidence within the teachers and create an easier transition to this new digital age of educational technology. Technology is quickly advancing, and in the field of education, it has made it possible for teaching and learning to be made available to diverse nations, regardless of their locale. In certain cases, assistive technology is used to meet the special needs of an otherwise disenfranchised group. The purpose of technology being used in the field of education has always been for the purpose of finding better ways to transfer knowledge. However, since most of these technologies are built for individual use, the new technologies in the past and in the present are very costly, and for the most part leave many disenfranchised. Throughout history, we have learned that at the beginning of new technology innovations, the cost of obtaining them has always generated a digital divide. Digital divide is the gap between those who have access to computers and the internet and other educational technologies and those who don't, which is a direct contributor to the achievement and income gap for the underrepresented and lower income groups. According to Scrum, digital equity is a condition in which all individuals and communities have the information technology capacity needed for full participation in our society, democracy, and economy. Even with the use of internet today, there continues to be a digital divide between the haves and the have-nots. Although some effort is being made for digital inclusion, the marginalization of the underrepresented and lower income groups still exist. Educational systems in lower income areas do not receive adequate funding for these new technologies, therefore contributing to the continuation of an achievement gap in the areas of civic and cultural participation, employment, and learning. Human performance technology is a powerful tool that can be used whether it be for online learning environments or traditional classroom environments. Since the purpose of HPT is to improve the performance of both human capital and organizations, advancements in technology can only boost the validity of its objective. O'Driscoll defines HPT as a systematic approach to analyzing performance problems that acts as a mechanism to implement high-performance work systems. A front-end analysis is used to identify sources of those problems and then suggest proper interventions as solutions. Conducting a thorough analysis answers many of the tough questions that are needed to find the causes of problems. In the traditional classroom environment, integrating technology has its place. For example, one intervention, artificial intelligence, is useful for identifying a student's strengths and weaknesses. Many educators utilize these computerized machines in their classrooms to assist them in support of tutoring. Students may be struggling with certain learning objectives and can access this technology and get the additional support they need to successfully meet the learning objective. This technology not only improves knowledge acquisition, but it also improves the instructional strategy for the teacher. This topic is vast and can lead in many different directions. As I research the use of educational technology in education, I know it can improve the competency of students' knowledge acquisition and teachers' ability to effectively transfer knowledge. However, the digital divide is a serious barrier that continues to grow due to a lack of resources in various school districts. This continues to be a problem that widens the achievement gaps between various socioeconomic classes. Therefore, more research is needed to find ways of integrating comparable educational technology equally throughout all socioeconomic school districts. Thank you for watching my presentation on educational technology in the traditional classroom, and I hope you enjoyed what was presented. God bless.